everyone, today I'll be reviewing the new Netflix horror movie The Devil Below, starring Alicia Sands, Will Patton, Adam Cantu, and this movie is directed by Bradley Parker. So the Bradley Parker, when I was looking into his profile, he's actually second unit director of the upcoming, or should I say, probably next year, most anticipated movie, The Batman, starring Robert Pattinson. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, I don't know how I feel about that after seeing this movie, because this was his first time directing this movie, The Devil Below. What do I think about this movie? I thought this movie, like when I was finished watching it or while I was watching it, I was thinking to myself, this movie has so much potential. Oh my God, really? This movie had such a interesting concept here. When I think about it, like there is something might be hiding under the ground, where is a coal mine there, and people are disappearing in that neighborhood, and there's like so much fire going on. So when this movie started with this plot line, I was like, oh, this movie is going to be really interesting. Because before watching this movie, I was looking into the Rotten Tomatoes. It has such a low rating, and after seeing this movie, I understand why. Because while this movie definitely had very interesting concept, but this movie couldn't deliver this concept to us because the way it was done. Especially when I look back and think about what I didn't like or how it was done, I didn't like. Mainly, I didn't like how these four geologists, they come into this movie and go there to investigate what is happening under the ground. But the way these people disappear, especially the first one, second one, the third one, and the fourth one, it was too quick. I was like, wow, it was too quick. All these people disappear under the ground, and you are just wondering, oh, because this movie did started with this monster. They is like taking people, you know how it's grabbing people and like paralyzing people, which you learn end of this movie. So I was like, when the movie first started, I thought, oh, he's turning them into something, because this is the way he was like poking them, then their eyes going black, and like then end of this movie you learn that they were actually getting paralyzed by this monster's venom. I'm guessing that is what it meant. So I guess as an audience, you know what is happening. Something is like grabbing them under the ground. So when this people that disappear too quickly, you don't care about them because you did not spend your time with these characters. Like what is their like, why they're like, what is their motivation, or at least talk to each other, you know. Nothing. This movie just goes straightforward horror route. Most horror movie, like especially this movie, of course, is took some of its ideas from The Quiet Place. Like every other horror movie coming out these days is taking their idea from The Quiet Place, which is sometimes very frustrating. When I was watching it, I was thinking to myself, especially, I was thinking watching this movie, here we are again, this creature, they're sensitive to the sound. Which it just brush over, like they tell us in a second, oh, this creature, they're sensitive to sound. They never like explain fully like what are they. And the end of this movie, when you are waiting and waiting to see all this monster, what they're doing underneath, and the reveal happen, they don't show you enough. They just show you with their blurry brush and camera work. So what I'm guessing after watching this movie is the biggest problem for this movie is budget. So this movie probably has very little budget from Netflix. You're wondering why all this Netflix project has big budget. Why is this one has less budget? So I'm thinking Netflix thought, you know how Blumhouse movie, they like all the Blumhouse movie out there, they're so cheap to make. When you watch it, you can feel it. They're so cheap, and Netflix thought, why don't we do that? So that's why this movie, it tried to do that, you know. This movie, it has too much low budget that when you watch it, you are like, oh. Especially, you should have given some money for this monster look, because they are the center of this story here. But when you don't show your audience how they look or what they are doing there, like properly, of course, you feel disappointed after watching this movie. So biggest plot hole for me when I think about and look back for this movie is like, if all these creatures, they're sensitive to sound, why these people are hunting them down, going after them with guns? Shouldn't they have some kind of like noise machine that this monster will run away? Why they're not doing that? I don't know. and how this movie ended, like they're gonna protect this town from outside world. Like what, really? Like 4 or 5 people gonna be fighting against all this army down under the ground? How is that make sense? That does not make any sense. So I think overall this movie was like really wasted opportunity for me watching it. So I don't recommend people check this, but I did see people are checking this out because I did see this movie was trending on Netflix. Some people will checking this out because this movie still has interesting name, The Devil Below. And that's my thought on this movie. Let me know in the comment what do you think about this movie, and if you enjoyed my review, don't forget to subscribe and please take care.